Okay, so Instagram, I see you. Thank you guys too for those of you that are putting comments in. I see you. Welcome. Really excited to be doing this live with everybody. So we've got over 200 people here live on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. As Facebook and YouTube get up, we'll have probably another 200. So let's talk about a 3-day water fast. Let's talk about those of you that are joining us on it. Let's talk about how do you approach a 3-day water fast from a mindset, from a prep, not only mentally but physically. We'll talk about that. So whether you're just going to be somebody who joins us and watches, or you're actually going to be doing the fast with us, there's something for everybody here. So before I go into that, one of the things that I just want to point out is just how grateful I am to all of you for your support around the book. The book has been doing amazing. It's been amazing, and it's been incredible. Like for me as an author, I'll just really speak for myself here. Watching your comments, your reviews on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, the excitement you got over getting the misspelled book, like all of that has meant the world to me. And I have been on this journey with this book a solid 2 years. If you ever sit with an author and ask them what it takes to put a book out into the world, it takes a team of people, and it takes some time and a lot of work. So to hear how you guys are receiving the book, it warms my heart. So thank you. I just have to point that out. And those of you who've left us reviews, just massively grateful. So, okay, with that out of the way, let's jump into the water fast. I want to just get into the bulk of what you need to know this week, and what you can expect in these webinars that I'll be doing. So for starters, if you're listening to me for the first time and you're like, what water fast? We're doing a water fast this week? The answer is yes. We're doing a water fast this week, and all levels are welcome. I'm going to be giving a lot of modifications. So I'm excited to guide you through that. We have over 7,000 people signed up. This morning it was like 7,200 people. Now, let me tell you why that's so important. When you go into a water fast, this community support is everything. Those of you that may be watching me from the Resetter Collaborative, which is our free fasting group on Facebook, like that group has over 60,000 people in it, and these people are fasting all the time, and they're cheering each other on, exchanging tips. It's incredible to fast in a collective group. So that's what we're going to do this week, is that we are going to 7,000 of us are going to take this journey together. So the first thing to know is that you're going to have the community collective support, which is incredible. Second thing I want you to know is that as you go into these longer fasts, there is not just a physiological benefit, but there will be a mental benefit, which is why I just love this fast showing up this week. And I have to give hats off to Reed Tracy, the CEO of Hay House, because when I met with him back in August, that was one of the things we talked about, was what kind of challenge we could do around the book. And he was like, everybody at Hay House was like all in on the 3-day water fast, which we've been teaching on my platform for years. And it's so successful in a group. So it is way better to try your first 3-day water fast in a group than it is on your own or with a few people. So that's one of the reasons I'm so excited that we've got 7,200 people signed up. Okay, the other thing that I want to point out is that when you're going through this fasting experience, I've said this many times, but if you missed it, I really want you to grab it. When you go through this experience over the next 3 days, knowledge becomes your fuel. So food isn't your fuel. Knowledge is your fuel, mixed with some of the ketone surges that are going to happen. And the reason that I point that out is because what will keep you focused is understanding why you're doing it. So for those of you that have the book and are joining me on this journey, I want you to make sure that you have fully read chapter 2. So chapter 2 took me a really long time to write. In fact, I love watching everybody's reviews about, how I took all my over 1,000 YouTube videos, I summarized in chapter 2. And somebody saw that and commented on, like, she had been following me on my YouTube videos and had gained a lot of knowledge, but to have it all in one spot was so helpful. So thank you for seeing that. So chapters 2, the healing power of fasting, you want to make sure you read that. And when you get down over the next couple of days and you're like, oh, why am I doing this? Come back to chapter 2. So remember that knowledge is your fuel. You've got the book to anchor to as you go through this experience when your mind starts trying to talk you out of sticking with the fast. So if you have not received your book, I want to tell you 2 things. One, it may be coming quicker. A lot of people are getting them quicker than and their Amazon is telling them. So this is largely because the book has been a wild success. So the books are coming in, they're going out, we're getting them to you as fast as we possibly can. What a lot of people are doing is that they're ordering the Kindle version. So you have that. Or even, one of the ways I like to read books is get the audio, listen to the audio, and then I like to mark up in books. And so I will often, in my favorite books, get the audio plus the hard copy. So that's an option to you as well. And the audio could be interesting too, because it is my voice. So you might be hearing me as you're going through your fast and feeling more able to stick to the 3-day fast. So there's that. So if you haven't gotten your book, you can still participate. I'm still going through a ton of information. Okay, next thing I want you to know is that what's going to happen on these webinars. So yesterday on Instagram and Facebook, I did a reel on how to prep for this experience. And I want to just highlight that just in case you missed it, so you don't have to go find it. There are 5 things that I want you to focus on, and then I'm going to talk about what we'll be discussing on each webinar, because I have a master plan for you to ensure that you get through this 3-day water fast with ease and grace. So, but the 5 things I talked about yesterday were what you can do immediately. So today you can start upping your minerals. Whether you do elements, my favorite, but whatever minerals, you can go to your health food store, get some minerals, start upping your minerals. Because what we noticed in fasting so many people, both men and women, is that because of the poor quality of our soils, especially here in America, most of the food that we're eating it doesn't have enough mineral content in it. So what I first started seeing a couple of years ago with fasting was just like how many people were mineral deficient. And all of that showed up when they fasted. It was like, remember, fasting's a mirror. And so I started to see, wow, the whole world is mineral deficient. They're also amino acid deficient. But for this fast, we're going to focus on minerals. So adding minerals in, why this is important, why you want to have minerals on hand, is it can mitigate some of the painful or the discomfort that you can experience with fasting. You don't have to experience discomfort at all. But one of the things that we found is if we upped people's mineral balance, that they were able to move through through longer fasts with more ease and grace. So get yourself some minerals now. Okay, second thing I talked about yesterday was start upping your protein. And the reason this is important is we want to get your blood sugar stable. So start to stabilize that blood sugar. If you come into this 3-day water fast and you've been carb heavy, you might find that there's going to be this dip and the ability to switch over into fat burning is just going to be a little more abrupt and a little bit more difficult. So I like before a fast to up the protein, a 3-day fast, up your protein, and you can switch over to nature's carbs. Just switch, get away today from the pastas, the cakes, the cookies, just any of processed refined flour, get rid of it, and then switch over to nature's carbs, fruits, vegetables, you know how much I love the sweet potato and squashes, salads today. That can be all good. So if you up your protein and you switch over to nature's carbs, that will make the 3-day water fast easier. Second thing on food, and this was my third point yesterday on the reel that I did, was that you really want to focus on making sure you're eating good fats, not bad fats. Now, those of you who are either at the wrong time of your cycle, or you're not sure you are going to do the full 3 days, I want you to zone in on fat, because on tonight's webinar, I'm going to talk about all the modifications we can make as we go through this 3 days. So if you're like, I'm not sure I want to do water only for 3 days, don't worry, I've got you. Tonight, I'm going to map out all the different modifications. And one of those modifications will be to have fat bombs on hand. So this can be a keto cup. You guys know that's my favorite. This can be avocados, nut butters. So in the book, in the back, don't know the page, you'll have to go look it up, but in the appendix and written in the book itself, I talk about something called a fasted snack. And I list them out. So make sure you go and look for that fasted snack. It's most likely in the appendices. And then you have a list of things, of good fats. Today you want to add in the good fats, but then you have a list of these fasted snacks that you'll be able to lean into during the 3-day water fast, if that's what you choose to do. And I'll explain all of that tonight. But for today, let's up protein, let's switch over to nature's carbs, and let's up our good fats. And if you don't know the difference between good fats and bad fats, I wrote it all in the book. I list it out in the appendices. So know that that's there for you. Okay, so that was the fourth one. Okay, that was the third one. The fourth tip I gave was to pull a friend into this. This fasting is so much easier with people around you supporting you. So if you have a friend who has been on the fence, it's like, I don't know if I can do a 3-day water fast, no problem. I'm going to give modifications. Some of you may only do a 24-hour fast. Some of you may do bone broth. I'm going to talk about that. Some of you may do fasted snacks the whole time. So I'm going to give so many modifications. So bringing people into this experience, let me share with you, not only will it be easier for you, but one of my intentions for this 3-day fast for all of us, but for the world, is that when we fast, the noise in our brain goes like this. So instead of like having that ADD brain that we all tend to get, especially in this world, where we're like, what am I doing? How am I doing this? When you fast, you start to get into this calm place where the information that comes through is clear. It is inspiring. If you have any problems that you're trying to solve, please set the intention now that you want to be able to answer those through this fast. If you have an intention or a goal for the year, spend today thinking about that, setting that out, putting it out into the universe, that this is a time of reflection and insight and repair. So not only are you going to be healing your body, not only in this 3-day water fast are you going to be able to get rid of these senescent cells, not only are you going to balance your hormones and lose weight and change your metabolic health, all the incredible things about fasting, but if you have an intention this year, let's get clear on it now. And a lot of you that have been following me know that I've been on a mission to get 1 million people fasting. We figured out last year that we pretty much hit that mission, which is amazing. So my mission had to get even bigger. And, one of my missions is to end chronic disease. And the reason that that's so important is we can use fasting as a free tool to be able to do that. Ending chronic disease can't be expensive. If we're going to end chronic disease, we need to have a free tool, which is fasting. So as I go into this week and I do my fasting, I'm going to set that intention that people get more exposure to the information that I'm teaching, to the principles in the book, that people start to believe in their bodies again, that people start asking what they can do to improve their own health. That will be really my prayer, that we empower a world to take control of their health. especially women at a time when women have been feeling so disempowered. And let's just be honest, many of the chronic disease problems like autoimmune conditions happen to women more than men. 80% of autoimmune conditions happen to women. So as we have the energy of this 7,000 plus people going into this water fast, the intention that I'm going to set, the energy I want to put out into the world is, let's start using fasting to heal people, and let's get this information to people in the deepest level possible. So when you bring a friend into this experience with you, you just amplify whatever that message is for all of us and for whatever message you're going through. So that was my fourth thing. And then the fifth thing was come with a positive, open mind. And the reason that this is important is you're gonna be shocked. I have taken so many people, at this point in the last 10 years, we've probably taken hundreds of thousands of people, if not in the million mark, through a 3-day water fast. And what I love is that I can guide you. I can tell you all the hacks. I can keep you focused, but you have to walk the path, which means at the end of this water fast, you get the credit. I don't get the credit. The book doesn't get the credit. Your doctor doesn't get the credit. You get the credit. So there's so much like opportunity for self-pride in this journey. So I want you to come with this open mind. I'll share tonight, that my relationship with food dramatically changed as I learned the principles of fasting. There's no way, go to the afterword that I wrote in Fast Like a Girl. I feel like I expressed my heart as deeply as I could there about, like, I shouldn't have been the poster child for fasting. I was the hangry person that ate all day long. There's no way that the 35-year-old self version of me could have ever imagined that the 53-year-old version can rock a 3-day water fast. There was just no way that I could have wrapped my head around that. But I stayed open to the information as it came in, and I kept applying it. And then I asked myself, could I have a different relationship with my body than the one that I've had all these years? And that's the kind of mindset tools we'll be talking about on the webinar. So those were the 5 prep things. On to these webinars, let me explain to you what we're going to be doing. So tonight is going to be is our first webinar. If you haven't signed up, you can sign up now. It's still open. It's free. I saw somebody's comment saying that something around like it was a bait and switch that you had to join. You had to pay for my membership group to get into the water fast. And I got to tell you that nothing could be further from the truth. I'm literally showing up an hour plus tonight, an hour tomorrow, an hour Wednesday, and even longer, probably 2 hours on Thursday. I'll talk about that in a moment. This is a free service. I'm trying to change the world through fasting. So just know that your only ticket in is the book, because I'm going to be teaching from the book over the next couple of days. So I want you to have that resource. So there's that. Okay, so tonight will be mindset. I'm going to get you mentally prepared for the water fast. I'm also going to talk about all the modifications that you can make. So you're set up and you're ready to go. Tomorrow, what's going to be great is you're going to come in after that first day. Typically what happens on a 3-day water fast is there's like this excitement. The first day, you're like, I can do this. I can do this. By the end of the first day, you're like, oh God, if it's tough now, what's going to happen in a couple of days? And so that's why tonight's webinar, I know we're all on different time zones, and many of you will watch the webinars from in replay. But I wanted to tonight really talk about, how we can navigate the tough moments, but I also will be giving you the modifications. But tomorrow night, we're going to talk about what you can experience on day 1. What are the symptoms that are showing up? How do you know if they're normal? How do you read them? Because fasting's a mirror. So there's going to be this opportunity for you to get a deeper understanding of what your body needs for healing. And that's incredible. So tomorrow I'm going to go through everything you need to know about all the symptoms that you're experiencing. What do they mean? How do you navigate them? How do you know what the next step for your health will be? So that'll be tomorrow. I'll also dive into hormones. So, and men, you are more than welcome to join me on this fasting journey over this week. So with that, what I'm going to encourage you tomorrow, I will be talking on the webinar about both male and female hormones. I think it's what in all the podcasts that I've been doing over the last couple of months, I realized that we can't talk about women's hormones without talking about men's hormones. And the reason for that is it helps us get a better understanding of each other. So the reason I love talking about hormones is you start to see that some of your obscure behavior, your mood swings, all things like that are very normal, because hormones control everything from physical to mental health. But then it also helps us understand why the behaviors, the results men get with fasting works different than for a woman's body. So tomorrow night, I'll be talking about the differences. And I'll bring them in context of relationships, even like what we need to know about these differences and how to use the tools of hormones to understand yourself better, your behaviors better, plus your relationships. So that's tomorrow on tomorrow's webinar, free. Just want to point out, free. Wednesday, I'm going to go into everything you need to know about breaking a fast. Now, this is important. This was a chapter I guarded really well. In fact, as we were starting to write the book, or as I was writing the book last year at this time, that one of my editors said, do we really need a whole chapter on breaking a fast? And I was like, yes, this is a question. The one thing I know are the minds of fasters, because I've answered so many questions for so many years. I know what you all need to hear. And you need to know how to break a fast. You need to know what breaks a fast. You need to know all the nuance around it. So we're going to take that one topic on Wednesday night and we're going to unpack it. So you will always successfully break your fast in the right way. And that's important for your overall fasting lifestyle and your hormonal health. So that's Wednesday. Then Thursday night, this is going to be really cool. Thursday night, those of you that were on the master class with Elle, Leanne, and Danica, got a taste of what it's like to bring three really unique minds together. The same thing is going to happen on Thursday night. I am bringing together Megan Ramos. Those of you that don't know Megan, we're going to put out some more information on this. But Megan, go listen to the Recenter podcast interview I did with her, because Megan has been Jason Fung's sort of a right-hand scientist, is what I'm going to call her, because that's really what she is. And she started the journey with Jason as he moved from helping diabetics fix their kidney problems, moving from that over into, oh my gosh, fasting can solve the obesity problem. So she's been there from day one, and she has some really interesting insight into what they've seen in the longer fasts. And this is why I wanted to bring her on this masterclass, is that she and Jason are fans of the longer fast. And I want you all to fall in love with what the longer fast can do. So it's her. Then I'm bringing my friend Annette Boz on to that class as well. Those of you who don't know Annette here on YouTube, she's got a great channel. Go follow her channel. We are kindred spirits. Like, we are both out there talking about keto and fasting and changing chronic disease. She has some really great information on hemoglobin A1C and how to look at that measurement, and how it's a measurement of something called glycation that causes your glucose molecules to gum up your red blood cells. And then the red blood cells can't deliver oxygen to the parts of your body that need it, most specifically the brain. So it's a really good concept that she brings to light. And then when you bring your hemoglobin A1C down, you start not only losing weight and improving your metabolic health, but in that improvement, you're actually able to get more oxygen to the rest of your body, which is really cool. So brought Annette on to talk about that. And then my favorite hormone expert, and love this woman. If you don't follow her on Instagram, go follow her on Instagram, Dr. Carrie Jones, who is a hormone expert and has become a great friend. And I just love her perspective on hormones. So we've created this really cool conversation where we're bringing together, a scientist, a fasting researcher in Megan Ramos. we're bringing together an internist that has been working with people with poor metabolic health in Dr. Boz, and then to bring Dr. Carrie Jones on as a hormone expert. What a great conversation. And that will happen on Thursday night, the last night of the fast. On Wednesday night, I'll be talking about how to break your fast. So you can come to that webinar prepared to eat if you want. And then just take in all the information, the goodness that's going to happen during that time. So there you go. That is what's going down. Let me see if there's anything that I missed. I don't think so. But I'm so overwhelmed by your support. I set out on this journey to bring fasting to the world because it was the right thing to do. It's the right tool that can get us out of a health crisis. It's free. And we're never going to improve the health of the world if health tools always have to cost money. We can't make it so that only the wealthy can get healthy. We have to go back to some key principles that keep us healthy. And fasting is one of those. So every time you all write me an amazing review on Amazon or on Barnes & Noble, every time you give a shout out with the book and you talk about how it's resonating with me, I get hope, and my hope grows, which fuels my passion to put out more content. That fasting is the tool. It is the absolute tool that we can all use to better our path towards chronic disease. So if you don't want Alzheimer's, dementia, diabetes, autoimmune conditions, you don't want the tragedies of poor immune health that come with poor metabolic health, this is your tool. This is your tool. And when I pitched the book to Hay House, I was really passionate about the fact that women didn't have a manual. So when I read your comments and your reviews that are like, this is the manual, I'm like, thank you. Thank you for seeing that, because I'm doing this to change the health and the course of health that most people are heading in, but most specifically women, because we have been underserved in many places, but especially the healthcare industry. And so this is an opportunity for us to take our power back, which is why, by the way, at the end of this 3-day water fast, I don't get the accolades, you get the accolades, because that's exactly what you're going to do this week, is take your flippin' power back by getting to know your body and stepping into this incredible accelerated healing state. And every comment that I read, every time I see the numbers go up in book sales and webinar registrations, it gives me hope and tells me that we're going to do this. We're going to use fasting as this incredible tool to heal the world. So from the bottom of my heart, just appreciate you all. I'll see you all on the webinar tonight. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can go to, on Instagram, you can go to my bio and sign up for the water fast. You go back and watch this. There's a lot of ways to get clued into what's happening this week on our platform. But appreciate you all and can't wait to be on this journey with you. So let's change the world together this week. That's what the potential that lies before us. So hugs and love to you all.